Hey guys, welcome to a new card review. Today, I'll be doing a very special card review. This review was requested to me by my good friend of mine named MetalGearBlaze. Some of you may know him already because he did request some reviews in the past, and he did help me out with the Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus review from a while back. Now today is his birthday, and I figured I should do this review for him on his birthday as a gift. So to Metal and everyone else, I hope you all enjoy this review, and let's get started on this review on one of Metal's favorite cards, Knight Draco Equiste. I'll say this right now, I love the artwork of this card. It looks badass. From what we see here is one very powerful dragon warrior wearing blue armor with some yellow and white. His helmet looks interesting as well, with a white coloring with yellowish horns that makes it look like a mohawk. Not only that, but on the front of his helmet is a bigger horn which looks even cooler. As we can see from his tail and some parts of his legs, his skin color resembles a type of purple. And speaking of the tail, on the tip of his tail has some armor as well. His wings also look interesting with a light green color added to it. As we can see, his weapon of choice is a lance with a yellowish gold color on the handle of the weapon. Also, for what I can see at the end of the handle, we see what appears to be a shape of a dragon head. As for the background, it shows a windy cyclone right behind it, which makes sense because this monster's attribute is wind, so no shit. If you guys couldn't tell, I love the artwork of this card. He just looks awesome, but not just because he's a dragon, but he's a dragon warrior with awesome looking armor and a cool choice of weapon. So for its art, it's getting a 5 out of 5. Let's check out his effect. It needs one Dragon Synchro monster and one Warrior type monster. This monster can only be special summoned by a fusion summon from the extra deck. Once per turn, you can select one Dragon type Synchro monster in your graveyard, remove it from play, treat this card's name as that monster's name, and give this card the same effects as that monster until the end of the turn. When this card is in face-up attack position, any effect damage you would take from an opponent's card effect is inflicted to your opponent instead. This card has a very interesting effect. For one, this thing is really easy to summon. You just need a Dragon Synchro and a Warrior type monster, and that's it. Now for his effect. When removing that one Dragon Synchro from play, not only does Draco Equiste will be treated as that removed monster, it also gains his effect. That's pretty awesome, but here's my problem with it though. The effect only lasts until the end of the turn, and then it loses its gain ability. Not only that, you just removed a dragon in order to use this effect. What if you needed that monster later in the game? This second effect is just a great way just to be a troll to your opponent. If your opponent plays a card that inflicts damage to you, they take it instead. For example, if your opponent played Ukazi, you won't be taking 800 blight points, your opponent will. Problem, bro? So Draco Equiste's effect is pretty good, besides the remove from play part, but it is good overall. Its effect is getting a 4 out of 5. So what type of deck will Draco Equiste be good in? Well, judging that he's a fusion and his materials is a Dragon Synchro and a Warrior type monster, if you do the math, you'll most likely put this guy in a deck with warriors with a lot of Dragon Synchro monsters. No shit, right? So in deck choices, I'll be showing you all Dragon Synchros that will go great with Draco Equiste, and also other cards that will be needed for the deck. So let's get started. Red Dragon Archfiend is one of the many good Dragon Synchros that will be good for Draco's effect. His effect is the following. When he attacks a defense position monster, it can destroy all defense position monsters your opponent's side of the field. Now that's power. Here's another cool Dragon Synchro for Draco's effect, Scrap Dragon. With Scrap's effect, you can choose one card on your side of the field and on your opponent's side. Then you can destroy those two targets. This is a great way to get rid of your opponent's monster, spell, or trap cards that were giving you trouble. If you have at least one plant monster like Dandelion in your deck, then Black Rose Dragon will be a good choice. No, I'm not talking about self-destruct effect. I'm talking about its second effect. If you guys remember back when I did my Black Rose review, I mentioned her second effect allows you to remove one plant monster from play, to target one monster your opponent controls. That monster is switched to attack position and its attack is reduced to 0. This effect is a great way to take out your opponent's strongest monster. Dark End Dragon is a cool choice of effects. Once per turn, you can send one of your opponent's monsters from the field to the graveyard. Yeah, it may make Draco 500 attack and defense points weaker, but at least you got rid of one monster that might give you trouble in the future. Well, those are some Dragon Synchros that would be great for Draco's effect. So I'm guessing some of you are wondering, why didn't I choose Stardust Dragon for Draco's effect? Well, that question is simple. It's because Draco cannot return from the field once he uses Stardust effect. Once Draco hits the graveyard, he loses the effect of Stardust. Trust me on this. We'll be here forever if we talk about this any longer. So let's go on with the show, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look up some spell cards that will go well with this Draco Equiste. So maybe some of you are probably thinking, just put in Polymerization because he's a fusion monster. Am I right? Well, yes and no. You could put in Polymerization in there if you wish, but there's a better card than that one, and that would be Miracle Synchro Fusion. What this card does is remove your materials from the field or graveyard from play in order to make the fusion summon. Also, there's another cool thing about this card. If it was face down on the field and if it gets destroyed by your opponent, you can draw one card. So this can be great by not just making Draco, but it's also good to draw a new card. Pretty awesome, right? So if any of you remember my Meteor Black Dragon review, I mentioned this card in the review and it'll work just as well for this dragon, and that card will be Dragon's Mirror. If you want to know what it does, well, go see the Meteor Black Dragon review just to see and find out. Let's look up some cards that might be useful of bringing the dragons necessary for Draco's effect from the remove from play pile back into play. One of those cards is Burial from a Different Dimension. What this card does is select up to 3 monsters that were removed from play and return them back to the owner's graveyards. So when the time is right, you can reuse the dragons all over again. So pretty much, Draco Equiste is mostly good in decks that have a lot of Dragon Synchros and Warrior type monsters. So for my score of deck choices, it's getting a 4 out of 5. So overall, Knight Draco Equiste is one awesome Dragon Warrior. It looks awesome, it is interesting, and it will be great in Dragon Synchro decks. Metal, I hope you liked the review, and I wish you a happy birthday, man. So my overall score for Knight Draco Equiste is a 4.5 out of 5. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the review, and if you guys have any cards you want me to review for future reviews, just leave a comment and I'll see what I can do. So as usual guys, comment, rate, and subscribe. This is Dragon Core 7, and I'll be seeing you all next time.